Hey everyone, it's your boy Doc Williams, and we are back. We're back with Build With Me, and we have Mr. Hackathon in the house. How are we doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. It's been a while.
It has been too long, dude. It has been too long. Thanks so much for being there. And you just hit me up on Twitter, and you're like, "Hey, why don't we build? Why don't we do something?" So, this is going to be a great night. If you're watching and watching live, make sure you do hashtag live or hashtag replay if you're watching replay in the chat. We're going to be talking about, just like what the title says, we're going to be talking about how to build an app three. We're going to be going through the basics of what this is, look at a couple different versions of how you can access this, and also to different platforms like Replit that are taking the ability to use Gemini 3 into different projects. And we'll be building and talking about things. So, real quick, Dominic, could you kind of give us a breakdown of like what is this Gemini 3 and what are we going to look to be building today? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so you probably heard of OpenAI, especially OpenAI Canvas. People might have heard of Claude Code and Claude from Anthropic, but Gemini is one of Google's cutting edge models, and obviously it's Google. So Google do everything big. They have the best people in the world working on it, and with Nano Banana, their image generation, I think is they have, is it VO2 or VO3? Well, VO 3.1 now. Their video generation, their Gemini 3 model is almost like their model to be able to generate code, but also applications too. So what we can do is generate applications again just by prompting and say we want you to build this, and it will build it for you. Um, it was released last night or yesterday, so it's still relatively new. People are producing interesting things, very cool landing pages, visualizers, games. So we're going to explore it. And again, it's only been out within 24 hours. There might be glitches. We're still trying to figure out, okay, what can it do really well? What can't it do well? But this is what the build process is about.
I love it. And with that, if you're looking at what Gemini 3 and what some people are doing, this is like Billy Howell. We've had him on the program before. He's building different games and things like that, like something tycoon, I
Yeah,
think, to do it. So we're seeing different platforms using this, how they're people are making different games or different things like that.
yeah,
So we'll take a look at me and Dominic will be building in a couple different ways and then taking a look at what's possible. So um, let's start with this. Dominic, do you want to share your screen and we kind of go through the different ways to use Gemini 3 and then I could be showing like how to use Replit
yeah.
and what would you like to do? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, I'll go ahead and share. Let's
Cool.
see if I can do that.
And let us know in the comment section, what are you trying to build? Have you heard about Gemini 3? Are you trying to build a specific type of app? Let us know in the comment section down below because we're going to be experimenting. Again, this is brand new. This is the time to start experimenting. You see how Replit has the new design feature as well. So let us know in the chat. Eric is saying yes. Okay, tell us more. What are you trying to build or all of those things? Let's do it. Um, Let's see. So I'm gonna switch to you to be on stage. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. Add to stage before sharing. Oh, let me remove mine. And there we go. Okay, you're all set.
Okay. So I think the thing with Google, sometimes things are overly confusing because they have their product portfolio. I have access to Gemini free at aistudio.google.com. I think you can access it other places too, but this is where I've accessed it. You can see some, I have some previous things. They have their gallery here where you can see people have made uh, shader plots, they made research visualizations, they're making landing pages. If we go and see more, Gemini Runner is interesting. I actually think this is super interesting. So again, this was just made by prompting. So if we just show you how this works, and it might not work because it uses the camera. So I'm gonna just allow and just see what happens. Can you still see me okay?
I can still see you, man.
Okay, perfect.
Oh my goodness. That's wild. It's making a motion game right there. It's just using your camera. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So it's using hand tracking with the camera again, just by prompting. So you can imagine there's really interesting games and things you can do with that. I saw someone online making a kind of like push-up app where it's
I saw that.
tracking your push-ups that you do. And so yeah, lots of really interesting things. I do have my notes here on some of the things that people have been making. I think I like the interactive simulators where you can, I don't know, if you're a physicist or if you're a student, you can, or some kind of scientist, you can create an interactive simulator of bacteria where it has different variables. You can change the variables and different things happen on the screen. So I think a lot of that stuff's really interesting. Where should we start? Should we start with games? There's people that have been
Yeah.
creating video editors inside of Gemini.
That's so crazy. So we've got someone in the chat saying that they am trying to build a game app for kids. Love it.
Okay,
I would say, hey, why don't let's start with a game, perhaps. Maybe that's fun.
okay,
As you're starting it, if you're watching this too, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, Malaki. But the thing is, too, I would write down the main feature. What are you looking to do in the game? Let us know. But Dominic, let's start with just creating a game, perhaps,
yeah.
and see what it looks like, and what do we want to do?
So I am just going to say, let's build a 3D Tetris game. It's not very creative, but let's just see what it comes up with.
Hmm. I haven't checked. Do you have a pro account for Gemini and everything?
I I want to say I don't know. I probably do, but I think it comes through my business email.
Yeah, so is mine. I think I have a pro version just because. Um, as we're seeing this real quick, Eric is saying, um, well, I'm not trying to look to build an app. I'm trying to build a website, but I don't know enough about whether AI can help me with that. Let's see. My website will need a backend, user auth, and etc. Yeah, I don't see that being a problem, really. Um, I guess it would just, Eric. It kind of depends on, like, okay, so you want to sign in. After the sign in, are you giving access to like a database? What's the process? Why do you need an auth? What are you going to do after like the landing page? What are you going to do inside the website? But I think using Gemini 3 is going to be fine anyway for that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Let us know details and we could probably just build it and look for an example. So what's going on here on the left hand side? Is this kind of like Lovable? It's doing the same exact thing and
Yeah,
building and everything?
yeah, doing the same as Lovable. It doesn't usually take very long, maybe a minute or two.
Okay.
You can see here, I said, let's build a 3D game, and it's adding rotation controls. Um, yeah, making it really intuitive. I do think so this is kind of version 0 for you or for
Hmm.
many people. If you want to create production ready applications, there is a lot more that you'll probably need. If you're creating a game, you probably want levels, you probably want a leaderboard, you
Yeah.
probably want users to log in. Um, but if you're just testing, I think this is a great way to test the core functionalities of what you want to build.
Yeah, I love it. We're getting, by the way, doing vertical, we're getting quite a few messages too, which is pretty
Okay.
awesome. So we're going to talk about a website, I think, and I want to try Replit in a moment, but also
Yeah.
we just got another one. What I'm trying to build is an e-commerce, which is connecting APIs to Shopify and trying to connect the API to it directly. For that, which is a great question, I would probably look at maybe Lovable, especially with all the things that they just released with the Shopify integration. Though that's what I would probably look at, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. Someone saying, "What's the URL to get started with Gemini app building?" Oh, we got you, man. It's aistudio dot google.com. I cannot stand the naming convention of Google and all of their ridiculous projects. Um, but let's dive in right here. So let's try it out. Okay, so we did this in just a couple of minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So it does look interesting.
Okay, so you're just using your keyboard. You're just using that. Okay. So it's one-shotting right there. So the controls are a little bit to or blocking the bottom that we
Yeah.
notice right here, which we could probably just um text edit or ask it to edit those things by screenshotting what it looks like right there and then just saying change the controls to be a little bit lower or something. But
'Cause-
already I like that. And you're just using that with your keyboard right there,
Yep.
Dominic?
Just using
Great.
it with my keyboard. How we can make this a little bit more. First of all, I am not a big fan on like the colors and
Yeah.
how the colors are, but it's okay. How I want to make this a little bit more interesting is there's one plane right now. I actually want to change it to be like multiple planes,
Oh,
if that makes sense. So I want to be able to rotate and say, okay, we built it up at this side. How can we build it up this side, this side, this side? Because I just like to do things a little bit different.
yeah, yeah.
So let's see, add rotational controls, different axis, X, Y, Z. Okay,
Good
let's
stuff.
see if this fixes it.
So we're getting some questions, which is awesome. Man, I'm loving. Let me know in the world where everyone's watching from. We got an international audience right now watching. This is great. We got people in the US, we got obviously UK, then we see ones from all over the world. Let me know in the chat where you're watching from. This is great. We got Toronto, Canada. Listen, we got people up late.
Let's see.
Nigeria, man, we got people all over the place. This is great. So let's go through as Dominic's doing this. Let's answer some New Zealand. What? Look at this. We got people from all over the place here. That's great. Thank you everyone for watching, tuning in. Look at this. Arkansas Junior, look at this. We got people from all over the place. We appreciate you. Um, let's see. Doc, could you please give us some real example with Lovable connecting the API? Thanks. Yeah, we can definitely look at some examples of that as well. And then Eric's talking about behind the website, they'll have a form and an AI that they have customized that I can ask so that they can ask questions too. Okay, yeah. So it's just basically probably it depends too, Eric, if you want them to pay, right? So if you're doing a Stripe integration before they get access, but let's just make it real basic just for them to sign in and then they get access to a homepage where they can then have access to a form and then probably another page where they can embed either the chat interface or something like that. So this is great stuff. Okay, we'll take a look at this, everybody, in a second. Uh, Dominic, how what are we doing
Well,
here? How goes it?
my latest prompt is still loading.
Okay.
I opened another project. So this is somebody asks about like a regular website,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a landing page I made for a hackathon project, and it turns investor conversations into insights. So it
Ooh.
uses AI to analyze your investor conversations and says, hey, here's the patterns in the data in the conversations. But the point of that is, hey, this is what a website could look like for you. Let's see the prompt I use to actually do this. Okay. I was going to copy and paste the prompt, but what we might just do is just create a prompt from scratch. So do you have, let's create a website for a gaming company, a landing page for an AI-based gaming company. And I might actually go to Gemini to improve this.
Yeah. As you're doing that, Eric has a question, but hold on. What about the Cursor competitor that Google just released, which is a VS Code competitor or fork? You want to kind of talk about that?
I actually haven't downloaded it. I haven't downloaded it. It's called Anti-Gravity, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
So I haven't downloaded it yet.
I think, that's a great question, and we can kind of talk about it. So, this is what we got on the agenda as we're building this out and talking about it. I think things like anti gravity or like Tray, that is like another one from Bike Dance that is really cheap. It's really going to depend on the tier level of how technical you are and what you're trying to build. I think if you're trying to build that MVP or to capture your imagination and get market validation, you can be using things like um, Replit, Lovable, what you're doing with Gemini 3. If you are already more technical or tech savvy and you like using Cursor or Claude Code and all of these things, if you're using something like anti gravity, that might be something for you, but it kind of depends on your use case, what you're trying to create, and how comfortable you are with an IDE. If you are just getting started and you want to build something very quickly, validate, and you're non-technical, I would go with the three that we're talking about here. But we can definitely talk about anti-gravity and talk about these different competitors as well, and kind of go through there. So I would have those kind of levels. And two, because you're building something with Lovable and you have the code, you can always then upload it to GitHub and then bring it into something like Anti-Gravity or into Cursor or Windsurf later on to then expand the application as well. Let me know if that makes sense. Eric, if that answers your question, we can also look into anti-gravity. I haven't used it either, but that's kind of how I view using all these different platforms and different options. Also, we'll talk about Rosebud in a little bit. Uh, Dominic, what are you doing in 3D? What's happening over here?
You can see that maybe I need to think about how this works exactly, but you can see it has created some kind of experience where we have Tetris, but you can actually rotate the object on the horizontal plane. Um, what it understands is, hey, how are we going to be able to see the object on the different planes? So you can see we have our you can see I'm rotating it on the vertical plane. You can see I'm rotating it horizontally.
You're wild. That is so funny. That is so funny that you're doing that. That's
So
a
I do
really
think
good
it can
idea.
be interesting.
Yeah,
I think I probably need to think more about how does this actually work.
yeah,
You can see that, and the way I would do it is like speak to Gemini about it. I don't like how it needs to be translucent, but I don't actually like the way it looks.
yeah.
Um, And so you can see where this is going. I do think it works a lot better for some things compared to other things. For example, this landing page that should be done is for an AI gaming company.
Hmm.
We have one shot in this, which means we've just given it the prompt and it's generated this.
It's
And it
not
looks pretty
bad.
good. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Let's go through and maybe we'll do a challenge because I have to try out these different things too.
Yeah.
So I think this is really good and we kind of just will share a screen and kind of just build like we do.
Yeah.
To answer Eric's question real quick, I like that a lot. To answer your question, there's a couple different ways that you could look for how you can write the best way to write prompts. You can always ask you can ask Claude
Yeah.
or chat to help you. Like, I want to create a chat, I want to create a prompt to do X, Y, and Z. Can you help me write that prompt? I find that really good. Also, too, I played with different things called only prompts and pretty prompts. The thing is, I will say about those, sometimes it's a bit of overkill and then I don't get exactly it's too heavy. I think if I'm just asking questions, my prompts are a lot better. Pretty
Yeah.
prompt I used as well, and I'm like, they call it like the Grammarly of prompting, but I have found that it is too heavy, and I get the response, and I'm like, daggone, like this is too much. So keeping that in mind, I'll put it in the chat if people want to try it out, but I would just ask and say, I'm trying to create a great prompt for this. Tell me the best format, and then I just chat back and forth. What do you think, Dominic?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did here for the landing page. I just said, hey, I gave it one sentence and I said, hey, improve this. And it gave me a couple options.
Yeah,
And then I might go back and forth. I might mix and match.
yeah. We got a question here. Can you build a SaaS app using the free plan with Gemini? I think it's going to depend on what the functionality is going to be. So I would, dial in, let us know what you're trying to build, but let's just see what you can. Like that's the main thing I would say. Think about the one feature, think about what you want to do, and then experiment. But I think because it just came out, there's tons of great. They're going to let you push it for right now
Yeah,
because they want you to use it and see what happens.
yeah,
Okay, let's do this. I'm excited. Why don't I can I try building a website real quick
yeah, yeah,
using Replit and Gemini and see what
yeah,
happens?
yeah, definitely.
Let me do this real quick. Okay, I'm going to switch to my
Yeah,
mine real quick. And then also too, you know what we do? Let's do a timer, 30 minutes and see what we can build.
okay,
Let's timer. So what we're gonna do is, so we do time challenges around here. Let's just do like see what happens, and we start building stuff out.
sure.
Um, Real quick, I'm gonna put in the chat if anyone wants to see what we talked about. Again, I think it's better to just try it out, get better at asking the right question for it to then help you with the prompting. But if you want to see that, okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to use Gemini 3 because I haven't used it. I'm gonna use Replit, and then I'm gonna use Lovable. Um, just quick shout out if anyone wants to see it. Rosebud, I'm gonna put in the chat. I think this is just really fun. It's to create a game. The credits are kind of expensive, so just keeping that in mind. But if I'm really trying to create a game, I might do that. So let's start with, let's go with Replit first. I'm gonna use the new design one. People are doing some crazy stuff with this.
Yeah,
Let's create a. I'm gonna say I want to create a new AI agency website for me to showcase my projects and work with clients. And I also want to have a login for my clients to log in to see their website or micro app that I'm building for them. Almost like a project, a client portal. There we go. We change it like that. Like building for them. Think of a client portal. Think of a similar, I'll just say similar to a, there we go. All right, so I'm putting this right here. Let's see what it looks like. This is the new one, the starting designing. This is for project managers and designers. This is something I haven't used, but this is a brand new thing that Replit just released. Of course, they would move things around. That's the one thing. So many different platforms are moving like their UI UX around.
yeah.
That's kind of annoying. Ooh, okay. Thiago saying hi. Thanks so much for being here. Hey, let us know what you're working on, what you're trying to do. So right now I'm using this new design feature from Replit. Replit just integrated with Gemini 3 as well. So it's pretty crazy how quickly people are in using this. But you see right here, design a new Replit experience to make great UX. So right here, this is all of the things that you're doing with, um, yeah, with
Wow,
Replit.
that is impressive.
Yeah, yeah, a really interesting way that they're doing it. So again, I'm trying to really lean into using this. You know what I love? The thing is, Thiago, people aren't using these emojis enough. I love it. Thank you so much. How about you just make it yourself? Yeah, tell me more. I love doing that. That's what we're doing. Or you mean coding it myself? Tell me more. But let's see about this. Let's see what it did. So it's making the portal right now. So it says configuring, starting the application, generated the image with dark futuristic neural network background. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here. As this is working, let's do the same exact prompt in Gemini and see what happens. Let's build it. And you know what? For fun, let's do it in Lovable and see what happens. Whenever you're using these different platforms, you notice how it's just amazing what these different versions look like, and you give it the same prompt. Also, too, if I can't remember who said it, we'll look at it in the chat. I think we had a question on how to use this with Shopify as well.
Yeah.
So we'll look at the documentation real quick. Ooh, could not resolve the problem. Okay. It's working on it. See what it's doing here. I don't want to use it for enable cloud for right now. It's okay. Let's see. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, so it's open client redefining, could not resolve the issue. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's already working on the error. So now, before, so if people are looking at this with Replit, when there was errors before, you would have to screenshot what's going on, ask it what's going on here. If you look at it right here, it says addressing the code flaws. It's already working through the project and then correcting itself as it's going through too. And look, right there. So we build intelligent digital experiences. Ooh, not bad. Start your project, your expertise. You know what? The design's not bad. I actually like it. Okay. View, and it's still doing things right now. It's fixing the components, so it's still building it. I'll let it do its thing. Client portal over here. Maybe I'll ask it to do. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay. Okay. This is Gemini 3's version. View work, client portal. That's pretty interesting. And let's take a look. Not bad. It's pretty interesting how the similarities, the color schemes pretty much. What do you think about this, Dominic?
I like it. I like it. I do feel that there's a weird thing. So base 44 does this too. If you that little next to Nexus AI,
Yep.
there's that icon. Like they have a kind of same look by
Yeah.
default. They have the same look.
Yeah.
The icons, I don't know why. I don't know how to describe it. And I haven't seen anyone articulate it, but there is a look that when I immediately look at the AI generated websites, I'm like, I think that's AI. Like I can kind of
Yeah.
tell a little bit.
And I think also too how many we're generating. Probably it feels. I'm interested what Lovable is going to do. It's going to be on the spot. I agree with you. I think it's very standard. Um, I usually have to change the header section to make sure that it just has a different experience. But yeah, it's interesting default that it keeps doing over and over again.
And I don't know why it does that default because in the wild, I wouldn't see that. So I'm like, what has it actually been trained on to?
Yeah. Let's see. What I'm gonna do is I'm also looking at Let's take a look at the documentation. Ooh, that's interesting. I haven't done that one yet. Hold on. I'm switching over. Build and customize online stores powered by Shopify and Lovable. Let me just. Have you watched this already? You
Let's
did.
see.
The
Uh,
one talking about like how to do this?
no, I haven't actually. So this will be
Let's-
new to me.
Yeah. Let's see about this. Let me bring it over here on this side so we can
I
like
did see the announcement. I
I
just didn't
saw
dive
it,
into
I just
it.
didn't read or watch
Yeah,
anything. let me let me
yeah.
do this real quick. I'm gonna do it so that way um people can hear it if they want to, so that way it won't be muted. It's only a minute, so we'll see how this works. Um let's add present. Let's stop screen. Hold on one second. Let me add something. Share screen, Chrome window, introducing. That way we can listen to it. Share tab. Okay, share. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. See what it does.
Hi, I'm Rachel from Lovable, and today we're making it possible for anyone to start selling things online just by chatting with AI. Introducing the Lovable Shopify integration. To show you how it works, let's build Lovable's first ever merch store where you'll be able to order the first ever Lovable merch. Step 1. Tell Lovable I want to create an online store for clothing. Lovable automatically sets up the complete Shopify store for me, including a working checkout and add to cart functionality. Step 2. I tell Lovable what products I want to sell and upload product images. Lovable will then add the products to the store and even help write the product descriptions. Step 3. I tell Lovable my store is ready and I want to start selling. Lovable then lets me claim the store on Shopify, and then I simply publish it on Lovable. And that's it. My fully functioning store is now live. It took me a few prompts to build our store, and now you can do the same. We can't wait to see what you build with the Lovable Shopify integration, whether it's a hobby store or a store to sell millions of products. It's possible.
Okay. So that's pretty wild.
I'm curious where the Shopify. So where does Shopify actually come in?
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be the integration. I was wondering. So I'm watching the documentation. This is what I let me screen share. What I was thinking about is would I have to sign up? Let me just try it, I guess. Because I have a client and I thought I could just integrate it. Ah, here we go. Enabling Shopify integration settings, account tools, allow enable integration for current project, decline the integration with your request. Shopify integration flow, create a project, remix an existing one. Okay. Okay, so you see right here, when remixing an existing project, prompt Lovable to integrate Shopify or remove mock data. It's important to use good comprehensive prompts. So let's just look at what it does in the settings here. Is it still working on my thing? Hold on. I understand you would like this. Let me clarify. Let's do front end. Sorry, everybody. Let me just create a new Lovable.
So maybe while you read that, I will show the first project that I have built. So I'm not sure how long that took, maybe 7 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to stop removing. Let me bring you up. Okay. Ooh, what are
So
you
I
building?
did I did actually build something similar in V0 by Vercel. So this, but I use different technologies. This is using Nano Banana, and what we can do is upload a photo.
Hmm.
So I'm going to upload a photo. I'm going to upload a wedding dress and then hit try on. And what you would see, or what you hope to see, is the person with the wedding dress on. There we go.
Oh.
Very, very simple generative application. So that is my first application that
I
I've
love
done
it.
in 30 minutes.
Doc Dews, another doc in the house. Great to see you. Met this man in Austin. Great to see him. If you're in Austin and you're a creator, make sure you hit him up. Yeah, it seems rather simple, but still useful. Yeah, man. Let
Yeah.
me know which one were you talking about, the Shopify one, the one that we're watching right here. Yeah, these tools depends on what you're looking for, but it can be very concise and simple. Yeah, for sure.
That's actually how I would recommend people to think about it right now. Like, I'm very, very big on micro apps, like make very small single purpose applications. That's very straightforward. Uh, I am confident that they can do a lot bigger projects, but I think they excel in very small things like this.
Yeah.
And
No,
and bear in mind, the user's still gonna break this. Where it says upload dress, they might upload something else, and now you have to put constraints in that if the AI identifies this is not a dress, tells them it's not a dress, and you need to upload a dress. But it's a lot easier to build the applications from like a very small application rather than try to build your entire vision from step one.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. Doc is talking about referring to the lovable Shopify integration. Yeah. To me, what I would probably look at the way to do this is if you have used Shopify and you're trying to code in Liquid and try to have a very specific design using Shopify, or you're spending a lot of money on Shopify's themes or using the apps and everything like that, Lovable just saved you a couple $100, potentially a month, doing it this way with Lovable versus using another app builder from the Shopify store to go from there. I think it's pretty simple. I think you can create some really amazing or the type of store you're looking for using the back end and the structure of Shopify. And so I agree. I think it's very simple. I think this could be really a huge step if you're a developer for Shopify. If you're similar to like how there are WordPress developers, if you're a Shopify developer and you're trying to make very specific type of uh, stores for your clients, I think this is going to be a game changer using Lovable. Yeah, great points. I love it, Doc. I love it. Um, Dominic, what are you doing over there as we're working on this? By the way, we have 14 minutes left. Let me know in the comment section, is this helpful as we're trying out all these different things? Some people might be asking, well, I thought we were only doing Gemini 3. A lot of these platforms are all powered by Gemini 3 or we're using it directly. So yeah, we're using a lot of different types of platforms. If you want us to do a straight tutorial that's only Gemini 3 or a very specific one, let us know. But I think this is helpful to see. Um, the other thing is too, Dominic, can I switch? Can I
Yeah,
show my screen
yeah,
for a second?
yeah.
Real quick. Beforehand, are you showing something? Do you want me to? What are you
No,
building over
so I can show in a minute. I'm just working on it right
there? No worries, no worries, no worries. Hold on one second. I'm gonna remove and let me bring mine. Okay, so if I'm building this out, and so we did this with Gemini 3, right? We were just at aistudio.google.com. We have this right here. I might say, okay, let's log in. Look, demo. I don't even know what this is. Let's sign in. Authenticating. Ooh, okay. So right here we have a login version. We have a dummy account that's working right here. So again, we can have a section that we have. It already created that client portal. What I'm probably going to ask it to do is connect it to either a Firebase or ask it where the database is. That way I can kind of understand what's going on more. If you already have a source or referring back, if you're just getting started and you're saying, how is the data stored? Usually, if you're using something in Google, it's probably going to do Firebase. If you're using something else, either Pocket Base, you're using something other than that, and it has an API call, which just means it's two systems talking to each other, you're going to have to talk to Gemini and explain how you want the information saved or going there. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm going to chat with Gemini 3 and see how it's saving the data and see what answers it gives me. So I'm just using voice to text. I see dummy data here and a client portal. How is the information being saved? So now if I don't know what's going on here, I can just chat with it. And that's really the point. When we're going through these prompts and going through these different things, we can really just go through this and ask it questions. I'm seeing if it has a chat feature that I can talk back and forth with it, kind of like Lovable. We'll find out. And again, let us know in the comment section, how often are you using these tools? How advanced are you? Because, Dominic and myself, we use these quite a bit. And so sometimes I want to make sure that I'm not going too fast or I'm switching context and everything. So let us know if this is the first time you're seeing this or where you're at. This is great. Okay, so it's thinking about its life for a moment. The difference is, and what I'm saying here is with, oh, it just finished this. Huh. Let's see what this site. I didn't. Oh, okay. Didn't see that coming. Okay. I like the animation, like the toggles right here. Now, if I use Lovable Cloud, I could probably build out the authentication pretty easily because everything with those things. I love it. Good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. Thank you. So here, if I'm using Lovable, I can just go into chat mode and just chat with it. That way, it's not going to build right away. I'm just chatting with the project. So it's almost like chatting with a junior dev or chatting with someone on your team before it just starts building. Every platform is a little bit different. But I always look for the chat feature so it doesn't think that I'm trying to build right away from these things. Okay, cool. Let's see. Now let's see what it's saying right here. So I said, I see dummy data here in a client portal. How's the information being saved? Look at what Gemini just wrote to me. So it says, currently the application works as a front end prototype. So the information is not being saved to a permanent database yet. Here's exactly how it's going to handle the data right now. So it's saying static mock data right here, simulated login, yeah, that's pretty interesting. To make this a fully functional project where you can have admin users update projects, we would typically connect this to a backend service or a database. Look at this. So it's explaining what's going on here. This is great. So now I can say, okay, that's great. And then I'm giving it a thumbs up. So it's submitting the feedback. I'm just going to say, what do you like about the response? The response was concise and it helped me learn more about building an application. I'm always giving it feedback because I want it to get better. So I am constantly giving the feedback loop right here. So now that I'm going to say here, now that I understand this, what would be the steps to connect it to a database? And what database would you suggest? Would you want me to use Firebase or something else? So right here, I'm not giving it all the answers. I want to know what's happening here. And this is what I love about these platforms. Before, if you didn't have this, you would have to go to Stack Overflow or others to understand or to be on message boards. You can just chat. If you're not technical, I am not a developer. I am not a developer, not a good one. But now you can use tools like this to vibe code, to understand more things, and then go from there. Use other platforms like Cursor. Fortunately, you know what questions to ask. Doc, you're exactly right. If you don't know what to ask, you can just say, I don't know what to ask. Tell me what I should consider. So these are great questions. If you don't know what to ask, I just go through that and just say that. It's a great question. And a lot of times I don't know. I'm just like, where do I go from here? I'm lost. Uh, the more you go with that, the better it's going to be. Yeah. Great questions. I love it. Doc, great questions. And great comments. So right here it's saying, let's see what it's saying to me. And we're not going to read it verbatim, but basically Right here, it's just telling me what database I can do. And then it said, should we do this now? Right. So it's giving me selections and then it's telling me what should I do. And so after reading over this, I can decide, or I can say, hey, make this simpler. I might just say, hey, I still don't quite understand. Make this simpler. Make this at a 7th grade level or someone that is totally new to programming. But make this concise for me to understand and then go from there. So right here, I'm telling it, hey, what kind of grade level? And that's not to say like this isn't insulting. This is just like the readability. What do I want? What level do I want it to be? And so here again, I'm asking it, make it simpler, or I might say like explain it to my grandma or explain it to a 9-year-old, and then it will also be able to go from there. Dominic, anything that you're thinking about? I see you building stuff over there. I see you hacking over there. I don't know what you're doing over there. You can share whenever you want, but you just let me know. But yeah, this is great stuff. Great questions, everybody. I love this.
What I do think we haven't mentioned, I haven't tried to publish anything with Gemini yet, or
Ooh.
Gemini 3, but I think because the code is accessible, you would have to download the code and then publish somewhere
Look at,
else. Oh, deploy
do you
app.
see this? I think you're right though, because you could save it to GitHub and then deploy it somewhere. Let's just
Yeah,
see what this button does. Let's see. Deploy your app as a
Google
cloud
Cloud.
service. Import, create. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. So this is for ones that might not be like this is the one thing. The great things about Google and one of the most frustrating things about Google. If you're not used to using Google Cloud Platform, sometimes this might be a bit of a hurdle to jump through to know how to do this. But let's try to create a project and see what it does. I'm used to going into Google Cloud Platform and doing this, but let's see how like Gemini 3 test. Let's see how well they're actually like making this infrastructure for people to deploy this easily, because this was not a thing back in the day. Deploy your app. Okay. It gave me a project. You must enable billing. That makes sense. The
yeah,
reason they're doing that, let me put it over here, because they're just basically, if your application does well and you don't want it to crash, they want to have access for you to have it continue to be there, right? So it's asking me, hey, sign up for billing so then we can charge you if this does really well. Kind of makes sense. But let's see. You have reached your limit because I've gone through it. Okay, request quota increase. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So again, this is because I have so many projects running, pretty much. But this is if you're running a basic project, um, you're gonna be fine. I usually go in and change the billing to be like, don't charge me over $10 or shut it off at $10. Yeah, Doc, you're exactly right. Google Cloud Platform does have a lot going on. I yeah. Here's the double-edged sword with it. It's really powerful. It can be really intimidating or overwhelming. I like how they're allowing you to just create the project right off the jump. Let me see if I can just jump into this project, which is pretty awesome. It does. Let me change out some billing things and go from here. So let me do some things here. Set account. Yeah, I used to do this a lot. It's just because I've built out so many projects here, so that's my bad. But let me just see what I can do to go through this, because it gives you basically tons of free projects before it starts like telling you like, hey, bro, you got to start paying. And I tried to max that out before I start paying. So let's see. I'm moving over here. They also bill for exceeding data limits during testing, not just users. Yes, you are exactly right. And that's why a lot of times there is, I would say, the best known competitor to Firebase is probably Superbase, because it allows you to scale and have um, those hard limits, so you won't get paid. When I was about 9 years ago, I like racked up a bill for like 500 by accident. So that always hurts. That and AWS is notorious for that, and I think that's why Superbase came in, and like I think that's why so many people prefer Superbase, by having these hard thresholds, so you don't get billed by these companies. So that's another way. If we're going to be adding the database, I can just say, hey, point it to Superbase instead, and then I can have a lot better experience with billing. So Doc's right. Keeps coming up clutch talking about this for sure. He knows it. Dominic, do you want to show what you're showcasing over there? Do you want me to switch back? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, so we can switch back. So I think I might have two applications to
Look at
check.
that. Of course, of course.
So can you see my screen?
We can.
So this was a concept many years ago that I did. Again, I think by using V0 by Vassell, or I think I actually coded this, something similar to this.
Oh wow.
Um, maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
And just to make sure, Dominic, are we looking at this? You brought it into AI Studio, so you brought it into
Yeah.
your
So obviously this isn't coded in AI Studio, but the first version I created, I actually coded it, and it took me maybe a couple of days to do. This took me maybe 10 minutes to do. And the concept is very simple. It was a prompt builder to teach kids how to build prompts. The inspiration was, let's see, Scratch. So if I just go to images,
Oh man, I
Scratch is
love it.
like teaches young people, and not just young people, but mainly young people, how to code using these drag and drop blocks. And that is how I wanted to teach prompt engineering. And if we actually, so I play the output. This is the output. It generated a story, and you can actually, it might take a while to play the audio, but there is audio. It will play it out loud. Yeah, it might take a while. So we are just going to go back. And what they could do, let's see, we go here. They could select the genre. Maybe they want to do a fairy tale, and the setting is in an underwater city. And the goal is to make a friend, and the tone is funny, and it will go ahead and create the prompt. Now we could customize what the prompt is here, and they can say there needs to be a dog. You hit generate story, and it's going to generate a story. The part of this that I was like, especially in the initial stages of prompt engineering, it was, hey, there's certain variables you might want to include. For example, if you're talking to ChatGPT, you might say act like a financial advisor, or you might say act like Donald Trump, or you might say you give it a role. And this is where this kind of block thinking was coming from. What is the goal? Do you want it to generate a paragraph for you? Do you want it to generate a poem, a tweet? Oh, so that was the other story. But if we play this, it will take a little while to do. I'm not quite sure why, but it does take a while to do. But you can see we have our story here. We have a story output, and we could do text to audio. We could even add a feature where we can have young people upload images they like, and then it generate AI images for their story based on images they like. So that was what I was playing around with project number 2. So at some point, this is going to play. And then the other project, uh, let's see. The other project is a little different. You can see.
No worries.
So I do think it could be
Yeah.
interesting. You do want young people to have the skills of writing stories, but I don't know if you're a parent. Maybe you say, "Hey, jump in the app and generate your own story, and I'll read it to you."
Yeah.
It's a different time, different way of parenting, a different way of being creative. Um, and then this third one is a way to find it's AI contract analysis that finds loopholes, hidden risks, and helps you negotiate. So I downloaded a tenancy agreement contract just from the internet. We're going to upload that. It's going to analyze. Again, it's using Gemini to analyze. And I don't know how long this will take.
Yeah.
But you can see the variation in the project. So we started off with like a try-on technology project. Here we have something that's relatively different, almost closer to a SaaS product. And then with this last one, you can see it's saying unable to display the PDF directly, but you can see there's identified issues, unenforceable professional cleaning calls, excessive late payment interest rate, risky abandonment, and reentry clause. So you can see how this could actually be a SaaS product.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love it. And I think if I'm seeing this, Dominic, and what you're saying, because this wide variety, if I'm looking at this and seeing all the things you're doing, you just got to start from somewhere. You just got to start building it, seeing what the output is, and then pivoting or making changes after you just start with it.
Yep.
I think this is a good part to stop with, and let us know too. Let us know what you want us to do. Um, I feel like okay, we're about to go into the holiday season. We did this last year, but I'm pretty much going to be streaming a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about this, and I see, especially with Gemini 3, there's so many opportunities of all of these. I like what you said, micro apps or this micro SaaS for you to do very simple or concise ideas and just bring them to the market. You don't need to be paying developers anymore. You don't need to be spending a lot of time with this. Just try it out, see what you think, and then go from there. Um, let's see. I like the contract analysis concept. Yep. That I like it. I like it. And this is the thing, like, just try it out. Let us know. We're going to be doing a lot of this. There's also going to be I'm not sure if I should mention it on stream or not. Well, maybe I should. I don't know. There's going to be a brand new community that we're going to be launching soon for Launch Labs, where you're going to either, if you're a small business and you need help with this, you can join the community, or if you're a builder, and you're looking to connect with different businesses or learn the skills to be a freelancer or have your agency, we're going to be doing that as well. So that's coming up very soon. We won't show the preview, but that'll be with that coming up. But let us know. Also, too, AJ's bringing up with the PDF SaaS. Would you be able to include a print or export to PDF button? Um, I don't see why not, with that. I missed that. Were we talking about a PDF SaaS? Did
Uh,
we?
Here, I'm not sure if he's talking about this because this is the only place I think we've spoken about PDFs. Um, I guess so. So I'm actually using a PDF of the contract and uploading it to
Mhm,
the product. I'm not quite sure what you want to export. Maybe you want to export a report
mhm.
of like the risks, and all I would do is prompt it to create the document. So I'm not quite sure why it wouldn't. Um,
Yeah.
What I think is happening here, I think in the background, is going and getting the tools to be able to do a certain job. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed. Um,
Here, I think because we're in this builder right here, it's not displaying the PDF because it says the page has been blocked by Chrome. But you can see
yeah.
here, it's allowing us to download the PDF. Probably if I deployed it, um, I'll be able to see the actual contract that I uploaded here.
I love it. Yep.
So,
And AJ says, "Yep, that's what he was thinking about the report." So, good call, man. Good call. So as we're getting started, again, we're going to be talking about this a lot in the coming weeks. Should be more AI announcements with a couple of these platforms coming up in the next week. Everyone's trying to do this before the holidays, so we'll see what people are coming out. And I think Google is just trying to make up for lost time and just like really just release aggressively all of
yeah.
these new models. Dominic, before we go, where can the good people find you? What projects are you going to be working on? Give the good people what they need to do.
Yeah, so I will unshare for a minute. So I do have my own YouTube channel. I'm Mr. Hackathon on most social platforms. I have Hackathon Labs on YouTube where I do a lot. It's mainly about building. I don't go over a lot of theory. It's just like I just show you how to build and build with you. Um, I do a lot of education, so that's probably what I focus on the most. Doing a lot of it. I always have projects coming out because I'm participating in hackathons aggressively, um, but usually they're for educational purposes. There are some fun ones that I kind of pursue on the side, but most of it is content related.
I love it. I'm dropping your YouTube channel in the chat down below as well. Check out all of his videos. He's awesome and just does a great job. Puts out some great stuff. So hopefully, if he allows us, please come back on the show and we'll be talking about this more. And
Yeah,
great questions from the audience. We saw people from all over the world tonight. And wherever you're watching, either watching this in the morning, early morning, or late at night, we appreciate you all being here. And we're going to be doing more videos and launching some things. There'll be a new video that drops in about 6.5 hours about Google workflows as well. So if you have any questions, let us know, ask us questions. And until next time, everybody, have a great night. And thank you so much for your time and energy. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.